Well, hello, it's Friday. I've been waiting for this day for a long time. It is the eve of seeing Wolves play again. Thank God, Mr. Joe Edwards. We're back. We are previewing a game. It is West Ham United against Wolverhampton Wanderers. What are we thinking? How are we thinking the sides will line up going into the game? It's been a long, long time. Can we expect to see similar to what we saw prior to lockdown?
Well, there's been some testing days, hasn't there, for us? I think, we were at a point where we didn't know if we'd have any football to talk about for quite a while, but those dark days are over, as they say, and light at the end of the tunnel. And yeah, Wolves back in action. I think you're looking at it, and in terms of whether they're going to be the same as they were before the break. I mean, the big talking point really is whether Adama Traore plays. Of course, that last league game, which seems a lifetime ago now, against Brighton, Traore was left on the bench that day, and Wolves went with a 3-5-2, maybe the more conservative formation, if you like. But I think most people seem to be of the opinion to let Traore free, I think.
Yeah.
Against West Ham, get in their faces, set the tone from the off, and you're talking about teams perhaps levelling out because of that lack of crowd factor. I think we've seen it with Sheffield United and Villa. That was a closer game than perhaps it would have been. I think Traore, as part of that front three, is Wolves' X factor, and if that can be the difference, then by all means go for it.
Yeah, and like you say, with some of the fullbacks that West Ham have got at their disposal, they're not blessed with pace. It's just, you've got someone like Traore, okay, so he's had to have 12 weeks, but he should be like a caged animal. He's ready to go, ready to run at some people, and that's the last thing you want to do if you're going to try and find your feet as a fullback and trying to get into some kind of game and match activity. We saw the other night with Aston Villa and Sheffield United, looking a little bit sketchy. I know it was a 0-0 game, but the defenders looked a little bit shaky. They didn't really have that turn of pace that they would normally do. It seems like a game that's absolutely made for someone like Traore.
Yeah, it does. I think... I know we're basing stuff off one game, but that Villa and Sheffield United game, it is a good marker as to perhaps what to expect from Wolves West Ham, because Sheffield United are a fellow European rival, and then Villa to West Ham, they're both in the relegation dogfight. So you're looking at there's quite a direct comparison, I guess, that you could make between those two, and. There was a lot of times in that game where Sheffield United really struggled to break Villa down. They really never got behind them, to be honest. They had one or two chances, but nothing, apart from that crazy no goal that really troubled Villa. So if you've got somebody like Traore, that's it, isn't it? That is a weapon to get in behind defences and really kind of cause problems and get defenders taking risks and draw fells and get players to pick up bookings. I think it's there to use, and I think most people are of the opinion that that's the way to go.
Yeah, from a West Ham point of view, what do you expect them to start with? Obviously, they're fighting for the lives at the bottom of the table. They might be a little bit more cautious. Some might say they'll probably be happy with the draw going into this game. Where do you think David Moyes will line up the boys?
I think it's kind of like a 4-2-3-1. What do they call it? The Christmas tree or something like that. But I think you're probably going to have Rice and Noble in there as the ratters, if you like, to kind of
the ratters
do the running and get stuck in, and then it tends to be kind of either an Antonio or an Anderson operating from the left, and then Bowen perhaps coming in from the right, or vice versa, and then the big lad Haller up top. I think they'll look to try and get Haller on Connor Cody. It's perhaps a little bit of a mismatch. We could see Wolves perhaps adopt something similar as have done in other games, where maybe Bolly kind of man marks him on corners and things like that, kind of switch over a little bit. But I think that's the way they'll probably go. I think they'll try and be physical. I know West Ham have got some decent players like Anderson and Rice. He's decent technically, but I think they're going to try and get in Wolves' faces, try and make it a bit of a physical battle. And because of that, I think that's another reason why you look towards Traore. You talk about physical. They don't get any more physically imposing than Traore. So as we say, I think this is a game set up for him.
Yeah, it should be a good game. I think it'll suit Wolves. I think if they come out, get the counter attacking, but they can't just sit back, can they? They want to take the bull by the horns, and they've got the type of players to do that, and they've got quality all over the pitch.
Yeah, and I mean, we are talking about Traore, but of course, Wolves are far from a one-man team. I mean, you got Raul Jimenez. Of course, I think he's a surefire starter, no matter the formation. Ruben Neves, Jean Martino. I mean, Wolves are looking strong all over the park, as far as we were aware. No injury issues to report, so they've got a full quota of players available. They're all well rested. Ruben Neves says they're all feeling very good physically and mentally. Of course, a proper litmus test comes when they actually step out onto a pitch and play a proper competitive game. But going into it, all the signs are there. It's all looking pretty positive. So hopefully, that creates a good performance and a win to start things off.
Right, finally, Joe, it's been a while, but we'll go for predictions. West Ham United against Wolverhampton Wanderers, what you're going for?
I think 2-0 Wolves. That might seem a bit, bold and things like that, but
No, I like it.
Yeah, I think Wolves have been, they've been so used to playing regularly, since last July. 2 games a week, Sunday, Thursday. That has been, and if it's not, a Thursday, then it's another midweek game in the Premier League or the Carabao or the FA Cup. They've played so many games, and to go from that to having a 3-month break, they would have been itching to get back on the pitch. I mean, I know there's perhaps a need to be a little bit wary. Wolves don't tend to start seasons off all that well. There is a trend to be reversed there, but I think Nuno will have hated this break as well. I think the players will have hated this break. They're itching to get back out onto the pitch. And even though the fans aren't there cheering them on, I think they want to put in a performance that makes the fans who are watching on there from their living rooms, really proud and happy to have Wolves back. So I think they're not going to take West Ham lightly. And yeah, I think they're going to come out with a win.
Joe, thank you very much. We'll see you at London Stadium on Saturday. For all the build-up on this one, make sure you log on to expressandStar.com.